Okay, welcome back to the world of Sokara. So, at the end of the last episode, we went to check out a village that thought they were haunted by ghosts. And it turned out that the ghosts were just people trying to scare the villagers away for some reason. What was the reason? Let's find out. So, reading along in the story. You have soon laid the figures out like 3 logs on the village green. They are badly hurt, but still alive. Now that you can get a better look at them, you see that they are dusted all over with flour, giving them a spectral appearance. That means they look like ghosts. You've summoned the other villagers. At first, they are loath to venture out and inspect the three strangers. So at first they're pretty scared. But the fact that you survived convinces them that there are no ghosts to worry about. No ghosts here, you've proved that. Why, it's old Megan, cries a man as he claps his eyes on one of the 3. And here's Braddock the miller, and lame Potmar. Why are they all covered in flour? Where are the ghosts? You shake your head and sigh at the stupidity of the yokels. That's a word meaning the villagers, not very smart people. There weren't any ghosts, you explain. It was these 3 all along. Out of gratitude, the villagers present you with 80 shards. Wow, 80 shards. That's a pretty good payoff. Okay. You do not wait around to see what fate befalls old Megan and her accomplices. In theory, they should be taken to the assizes in the nearest town, but feelings run so deep in this case that you suspect there will be some rough justice meted out. You resume your journey. Wow, I just finished filming for about 4 or 5 hours, so my voice is kind of shattered. You resume... I can't talk tonight. You resume your journey. There we go. 可能頭先講咗好多中文啊，所以頭先英文就未翻晒嚟啦。So, now I see that we're live. I don't see anyone in yet, but that's okay. Once we have people, please feel free to leave a comment. All right, let's make a move. So, if we look at a review of the quests from our last session. Now, the easy test was the Sacred Tusk. Now we took the Sacred Tusk, and we need to give it to... we need to go find the boar, hunt it down. Okay. That one's easy. In the service of the druids, the druid wants us to take the oak staff to the will druid in the Forest of Laroune. So I believe that's what we were looking for. Okay. And there's also in the city of Sokara, there's some rat problems that we could take a look at. Okay, but let's go back to the druids. That was the fairly easy task that we had started last time. So we were looking for these druids. Now, if we look around, what is this pointing to? This arrow pointing to us. Click on the compass button on the mini-map at the top right of the corner of the screen. And your world map important destinations will be marked on this map. Okay, so if we go up here... Aha, those are the 3 locations that we're looking for. So this is the So somewhere in here is the forest we're going to be looking for. So let's head towards the Road Tavern. You join the much-traveled road that connects Trefoil and Cairn Barú. The traffic mostly consists of convoys of troops and supplies. Eventually, you come to the weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between cities. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here, you can recover 1 stamina point if you are injured, up to the limit of your normal unwounded stamina score. Okay, so we see up here that after the last adventure, we're to 4 of 9 stamina. So let's first buy some drinks and see if we can hear any rumors. A trader from the far north tells a story about a great wizard, Ardaz the Magnificent, who was tricked by a shaman of the Horde of the Thousand Winds on the Great Steppes. He imprisoned Targaz inside a giant ruby and proceeded to loot Targaz's tower. But in his stupidity, he opened the great wizard's casket of imponderables and unleashed a terrible storm that swept across the steppes, scattering many of the tribes far and wide. The shaman was killed, of course, but as far as anyone knows, Targaz is still trapped in the ruby, waiting patiently for release. Perhaps another 100 years. Who knows? One thing's for certain, it won't be me trying to get him out. And that's all the rumors we're going to get out of this tavern for the time being. So let's get some rest. So we're in the weary Pilgrim Tavern. We've rested for probably 5 days to recover 5 stamina. And we are going to leave and go back in search of the Forest of Laroune. This is where we're trying to deliver the oak staff. The Forest of Laroune is a mighty swath of densely packed trees, a slice of primordial nature in the middle of busy, industrious Socara. You thread your way through the ranks of trees. In places, the forest canopy almost blocks out the sunlight completely, and you are wandering in deep shadow, haunted by the cries of the creatures of the forest. Now, we have the oak staff, so we want to seek out the willow druid. You are on a quest to take the oak staff to the willow druid, who lives in a sacred grove somewhere in the forest. You wander around looking for unusual tracks, strange creatures, anything that might lead you to a druid's den. Ooh, wow. Our odds of success are not very high. Let's give it a try, see what happens. We only rolled a 7 plus 3, that's a 10. We failed our scouting check, what happens? Much to your embarrassment, you get lost in the vast forest. You wander around the forest for days. Where do we end up? You wander around the forest for days until you finally emerge at the Bronze Hills. You are walking through Bronze Hills. Virtually the whole area has been given over to mining. Everywhere, quarries and mine shafts abound. It is a horrible expanse of torn-up earth. Hardly any areas of green are left. Great heaps of excavated rock, leached of their useful minerals, mar the landscape. You find a quarry that is open to the public. That is to say, if you pay 50 shards, you can dig for an hour in a silver mine. I don't think we want to do that right now. That's pretty expensive. Wait till we make a little bit more money. So we want to go back to the Forest of Laroune and try and find that druid again, even though it is very difficult for us. Okay, still not very good chances. Oh, closer, a little bit closer. We got rolled an 8. We need to roll a 9 or higher out of 2d6. So small chance. Where did we end up this time? And we're back to the Bronze Hills. Okay, we know what's there. Let's try it again. It's not costing us any stamina. It's just costing us time. Okay. Roll again. Oh, only an 8 again. Where do we end up this time? All right. Let's try it one more time, and if nothing happens, we'll come back to this task. No, even worse. That's our worst roll yet. Okay, so we wander around for days. Nothing there. So let's take a look. We can either go there or here or here. So let's go up in this area and see what our next quest is. So there's something over here. Let's go through this city first. Tavern is a medium-sized town that acts as a way station between the citadel to the north and the rich towns of the south. It is a garrison town. Many supplies, arms, and soldiers move through Tavern on the north-south trail. Shops, temples, traders, and the like have sprung up here to serve the needs of the military. There is also a sizable mining community, for the mines of Sokara lie in the Bronze Hills. We've been there too many times already. Just outside of town, and a slave market where poor unfortunates are sold into slavery and are bought to work in the mines. The Tavern market consists of several covered arcades. Much of its stock is for miners and soldiers, and it is run with business-like efficiency by the Sokaran military. Very interesting. So there are 3 temples in this city. There's a market, there's an inn. Let's explore. You walk the dusty streets of the garrison city in search of the slave market. The slave market is a large canvas-covered square. Poor, unfortunate slaves, people from all over Hakuna Matata. From the Feathered Lands, Gulner, criminals of Sokara, nomads from the steppes, are paraded in chains on a dais. Merchants and nobles bid for the slaves they want. An unusual sale has come up. A little furry, bat-winged humanoid is one of the mannequin people from the Sky Mountain in the north, and it's going for 50 shards. Could this guy be useful? Does he look like this little guy here? I don't know. Well, I still don't have a whole lot of money. I don't want to go spending money. Let's go to the market and see if there's anything useful that we can buy with our budget. Anything that helps us. Now, climbing gear. Okay, we don't need that. Adventuring gear. What would be nice is if we could afford this compass so that we wouldn't keep getting lost in the woods. But we don't have enough money for that. So let's leave this town for now and go back in the direction of the mission that we were looking for. Okay, it's in the mountains here. So let's go to the Cold Bleak Mountains. The Cold Bleak Mountains look as inhospitable and forbidding as their name implies. Their frozen flanks climbing high into the icy clouds. We climb further into the mountains. It's a tough climb upwards, but not impossible. Oh. Just now in the market, there was some climbing gear, but I didn't get it. So let's try the old-fashioned way and see what happens. Okay. Still not great odds, less than 50%, but let's give it a try and see what happens. Hey, a 12. That's the best roll we could hope for. All right. You clamber up until you come to a mountain track. It rises up between a cleft in the rock ahead of you. A man steps out in front of you. He is clearly a soldier, but his clothes are rough and ready, as if he had been living in the wild for some time. Okay, our character Liana is a troubadour. She's more into talking than fighting, so let's talk to him.
Who is the rightful ruler of Sokara? General Grieve Marlock? Or the son of the old king, Nurgan Korin?
Asked the soldier. I forgot our history lesson. Okay. 50-50 chance. Now, I left a lot of my dice in my bag, so I'm gonna grab... I love my 20-sided dice. 1 through 10, we say it's Grieve Marlock. 11 through 20, we say it's Nurgan Korin. I rolled a 4. So, Grieve Marlock. Oh! The soldier nods. Suddenly he shouts and several archers pop up from behind rocks and start shooting at you. An arrow embeds itself in your shoulder. Ouch! You realize you're a sitting duck and you run for your life. As you climb down, you are shot at again. Oh, I got hit twice. Oh no! We're dead. Wow. Well, luckily this is a computer game. Let's go back to where we saved at the end of our last session and try again. Okay, now we know what happened here. Okay, we were going through the road tavern. We rested up. Heard some rumors, same story about Targaz. Okay, go back. Okay. We'll try our luck in the forest again. Are we gonna get lucky this time? No. So we wander around for days. We don't want to mine for silver. Now, let's go back and try what I didn't know and, get some climbing gear. It's going to take most of our savings at the moment, but hey, it might change what happens in the cold, bleak mountains. So we climb into the mountains, we have some climbing gear, we talk to the soldier, and we know we don't want to say Grieve Marlock, so he says,
"That is fortunate for you,"
says the soldier. Several archers stand up from their hiding places behind the rocks overhead. Another soldier, a captain, comes up to you and introduces himself as Captain Vorkop. He is clearly one of the old aristocracy, the nobles loyal to the king and the old regime, before General Marlock and the army seized power and executed the old king. Vorkop tells you to leave the mountains. You have found a rebel base. Men still loyal to Nurgan Korin, the heir to the throne. Nurgan went into hiding when General Marlock killed his father and took control of Sokara. try and convince him that we're on his side. Because that's what troubadours do. Alright, there's a very small chance of successful charisma check. It's a very small chance of failure. Captain Borkung is impressed with your claims of loyalty to the rightful king. He decides you might be useful to the cause, and you are led blindfolded through a secret pass to a mountain stockade. King Nurgen gives you an audience in makeshift throne room. He is a young and handsome man who seems committed to his country. He leads you aside into a private chamber. I have need of such one as you, he says. Yellowboard groans under the yoke of Governor Marlock, the brother of General Grieve Marlock. If you can get into the palace at Yellowport and assassinate Marlos, I will be eternally grateful. You were asked by the governor of Yellowport to assassinate Nurgen Korin. This is a good time to make an attempt. Oh, wow. So, do we assassinate the rebels or join them? What do you guys think? Please, leave me a comment. What do you think we should do? Should we finish the mission? The brother of the general who's had a military coup over the kingdom, killed the king. Now, we don't know too much background in this story at the moment as to whether or not the king was a good king or what his son is. We're just, let's see if there's anything, character sheet, skills and spells, quest logs, ships manifest, menu and options. So, oh, very hard. Assassin in disguise, Kingslayer. Now that one we get 500 shards and we gain 1 rank. But this is a really, really hard task. King Nurgen. Wow, a new title and a rank. Okay, no one's... 你哋覺得點啊？我哋係應該係幫邊邊啊？我哋跟返原本嘅任務去殺咗呢個王子啦，定係我哋跟返王子 rebel 下啦？OK。睇嚟我哋而家為一個人睇緊個 show 就想繼續睇就唔留 comment 嘅，唔緊要。Let's turn to the dice. I rolled a 4 again. But you know what? I have a feeling that this general's not a good guy. He's a military dictatorship. He's got a coup. I want to join the rebels. Okay. Very well, says Nurgen and smiles. When you are ready, the king wishes you well, and you are led out of the stockade and back down to the foothills of the cold Bleak Mountains. The cold Bleak Mountains look as inhospitable and foreboding as their name implies, their frozen flanks climbing high into the icy clouds. Okay, so that's all we can do in that one. We go down into the countryside. You are crossing an open expanse of flinty ground. Few herds of sheep roam in the low hills, and we have a random encounter. You get lost. Oh man, we're good at getting lost, aren't we? When you finally discover your whereabouts, you're following the course of the stinking river. Okay, well, at least we know by the smell what happens at the stinking river. So, this time, nothing happens. All right. Now, there was a quest in this Stonehenge. Oh no, back in the city. Okay. If we look at our quests, the rat problem is a medium one. I feel like we should tackle some of the easier quests first. So let's go back to Yellowport and report to the provost. All right, so we're going to tell this guy that we have not completed our mission yet. Okay, so that's the mission. We want to go looking for... We're going to try and take out the rat problem. So rats are usually in the sewers. So let's go down to the city sewers. Oh, but we don't have a lantern. We don't have any money to buy a lantern. How much does a lantern cost? Let's go look in the market. We look in the market. A lantern costs 100 gold. So we need to find a way to make some money. Are there any jobs? The Merchants Guild of Yellowport is a large building. Okay. That's not really a job. So, we can't see in the dark. All right, we need to find a way to advance this story. The easiest task we have available to us is to deliver... oh, we caught a fish. Oh, good. If we're hungry, we can eat a fish. So, let's go back up to the Road Tavern. Back to the forest, and we're just going to have to keep trying our luck in the forest. Just keep trying until we finally get a roll high enough to let us pass through. Yeah, we don't have any money for that anymore. So, go looking again. Finally, we got the roll that we needed. We got a successful scouting check. You come across a forest glade. Birds twitter in the trees, and woodland animals frolic playfully all about. In the middle of the glade stands a mighty willow, ancient beyond reckoning. The trunk is hollow, and a wooden door has been set in the entrance. You step into the glade. Ooh, it's going to test our sanity, and our odds are just a little bit better than 50-50. So, oh good, we rolled an 8, so we successfully keep our sanctity. You are pious enough to be allowed to enter the sacred grove. You step in and knock on the door. Luckily, we haven't done anything too bad or evil yet. Or at least anything that the druids would consider bad and evil. A kindly old druid opens the door and greets you. You hand him the oak staff. "Thank you," says the old druid. "An oak staff, eh? That's an interesting message, to be sure." He hands you 50 shards as payment, and a willow staff, saying, "Please take this staff to the oak druid in the City of Trees in the Isle of Druids. I'm sure he'll reward you too. Good day, and thanks again." With that, he shuts the door. So we take the willow staff that... Oh, So the druids have some kind of secret code going on here. They're talking back and forth about something. All right, so let's go back. Okay, let's follow the main road back down to town. Let's see any random encounters on the road. We get mistaken for a beggar, and somebody gives us money, thinks we're beggars. Oh, that's good. A little extra money never hurts. Okay, pass by the road tavern. We're not in the mood to stay in the tavern. We want to go back to the port and catch a ship in the harbor to go back to the Isle of Druids. Okay, so we're back at the Isle of the Druids. And we're going to leave the sound there and we're going to head for the forest. Okay, now we know how the birds are singing in the trees in the forest. Now we need to go successfully scout for the druids here. And we are able to successfully scout out. You struggle deeper into the forest until you come to a thick wall of impenetrable thorn bushes. Circling it, you find there is a break in the hedge, but is filled by a large tree. To your surprise, a face forms in the trunk and speaks in a woody voice. Oh, we've seen this guy before. None can pass, be gone, you man. Oh, it's you again, says the tree grumpily. All right, off you go. Trees speak very slowly. They're not in a hurry. The tree uproots itself and shuffles out of your way, leaving you free to visit the city of trees once more. All right. That was fairly easy, so let's go back to the druid's leader. You give the willow staff to the oak. Ooh, we got some new abilities. Ah, thank you, the druid intones. Going on, a willow staff, eh? I see. As a reward, the druid lets you train with the City of Trees, best hunters and trackers. You gain 1 scouting permanently. Cool, our scouting skill has gone up. When you are ready, you can leave the City of Trees and return to the trading post. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Alright, we don't need anything weapon-wise right now. We don't have enough for any of the... We wanted the lantern. That was what we were hoping to get to go into the sewers. But we don't have enough money for that yet. So, that's okay. Let's leave this place. And let's go up on the Crystal Road here. There's some question marks coming up. Maybe there's something for us. So we roll the dice. Aha! Here is a werebore in ornate armor comes thundering out of the undergrowth near the road with a raised spear. There is no chance of retreat or surrender in this battle. Can't remember if we fought the... Oh yeah, we did. I did fight the werebore last time. I'm not used to the system yet, so I think that the journal entry when it's... Can we access the journal entry? No, not in the middle of combat. Okay, so... Let's start by... Let's switch to our ranged weapon. Or did we already have our ranged weapon? Yeah, okay. We switched to our crossbow. So let's try and but we don't have enough action points to shoot our crossbow. So alright, so let's make our clone. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. End our turn and see what happens. So we can shoot him now. And that uses all of our action. So we end the turn. Luckily the board didn't, oh, he didn't hurt us, but we can still keep shooting at him. That's cool. Okay. Oh, we're all out of arrows though. And he's hurt us. How's he? We're doing a little bit better than he is. What the heck? All right, let's step back because we're all out of arrows. And he comes up pretty close. Oh, but we were able to take him out this time. Good job. We got another spear and another wereborn tusk. So if we go back to our quests, yeah, okay, so the green ones are the completed ones. So all we have to do now is, let's go to the trading post and see if we can sell off what we have in our backpack so far. The spear sells for 40, and that's almost enough. Oh, just too short of what we need for that lantern. Would the lantern be? No, here they only have a compass and a mandolin. They do have a lantern, but it costs 100. So we've got to find a way to come up with an extra 2 shards. That's our unit of currency. Nothing to explore in this town. So 我哋再睇睇可以去邊度。嗱，呢度我哋知道係like obsidian stones 咦，但係我哋 stamina 有啲 low. So our stamina's a little bit low. Let's go to the inn and recover our stamina. I think since we're so low level, we're probably gonna be better off. 比較低級就係咁重複殺啲低級嘅嘢，睇下有冇得升得， or at least make more money. You meet a militia patrol. A troop of militiamen comes marching along the road. A burly man of arms with wild hair is leading the column. A wicked flail in one hand and a shield adorned with a black boar on the other. Seeing you, he stops and waves his men to halt. His little eyes squint at you from beneath the bushy brows, and it seems to you, his fat nose wriggles for a moment, as if sniffing the air. "Ah, my mistake," the man finally grumbles. "Thought you might be one of them poachers infesting these woods. Lousy, murdering lot they are, but you don't look the part. Keep your eyes peeled on the road, traveler." The militiamen continue on their patrol, and soon you're alone on the road again. Okay, well, that didn't do us very good. So, all right, let's take the traveling stones. Or can we go further? I want to see if we can go further south. Okay. Now it's gonna have a scouting again, and we failed the scouting check. We lost 2 stamina, and we ended up on the coast. Oh, so we're over here on the coast. All right. So there's not much more we can do on this island. So let's go to the inn, spend a couple more shards to rest. So we still need to get... Alright. 嗱，你哋而家睇緊嘅，如果有啲咩想做啊，你就盡快就打個 comment 啦。咁我正常就要等10秒先睇到你嘅 comment， 但係我都會盡量慢慢就住你哋嘅，即係找翻你哋時間等你哋。咁alright. So let's go back to... Let's go to the different city and just see what it's like. You step through the archway. Immediately, the symbols on the stone begin to glow with red-hot energy. Your hair stands on end, and your body tingles. A crackling nimbus of blue-white force engulfs you. The sky darkens, and thunder and lightning crash, boom, and leap across the heavens. Suddenly, your vision fades, and everything goes black. When your sight returns, you find yourself outside the gates of a huge fortified city. A guard stands in surprise at the sight of you. Then he shakes his head as if to clear it. Sure, he must have imagined what he just saw. The gates open, and a troop of heavy cavalry canter past.
Make way for the Morlock City Militia,
says the guard. When they have passed, you walk into the city. Morlock City is a huge, sprawling metropolis. Anything like Hong Kong? Enclosed in a fortified wall said to have been built 1,000 years ago by the ancient Shadar Empire. It is the capital city of Sokara. Marlock City was once known as Sokar until General Grieve Marlock led the army in bloody revolt against the old king, Corin VII, and had him executed. The general renamed the city after himself. It is now a crime to call it Sokar. The general lives in the old king's palace and calls himself the Protector General of all Sokar. Whereas the old king was corrupt. Okay, so that was the question I was debating earlier. How good was the old king? Now we know that he was corrupt. He took probably one too many bribes, people that made him happy. He just took their money and did whatever he wanted. That's a bad king. That's a bad ruler. The general, though, rules with a fist of iron. He's very strong. Some people like the new regime. Others are royalists. And though they are still loyal to Nurgen, the son of the king, the heir to the throne, who has gone into hiding somewhere. Outside the city gates hang the bodies of many dead people. Labels around their necks read, "Rebels executed by the state for the good of the people." You'd best behave yourself if you don't want to end up like one of them, grates a guardsman, nodding towards the swinging corpses. As you pass through the great eagle-headed gates of Marlock City. To leave Marlock City by sea or to buy or sell ships and cargo, go to the harbor master. Well, let's go to the tavern. Now, we're trying to get up to 100 gold pieces for that mission in the other yellow port, but you always go, an adventurer always goes to a tavern and listens for rumors. An old troubadour tells an epic tale of adventure and romance involving 3 heroes, a princess, and a dragon. Afterwards, you find yourself talking to him at the bar. He tells you about the time he was captured by the man-beasts of Nerik, and that by soothing their savage ferocity with music, he was able to escape. Remember that. You're in trouble? Sing. The bard tells you of his lifelong quest to find the greatest story ever told. It is said that the god Sig, in his aspect as the divine bard, passed this knowledge to a mystic called Damor the Hermit. He lives alone in a lost cave, awaiting the day when he can pass on the story to the one who finds him. I'm too old now to pursue the quest, so I pass it on to you. I believe he can be found in the foothills of the spine of Harkwood, the mountains to the north. Okay, well, that was a new mission. And how difficult was that mission? Still a hard one, so we do still need to try and figure out a way to go back to the rats. Let's visit the Street of Entertainers. Psst. Come here, friend, whispers someone from the shadows. Let's go see what he's got. Want to try your luck in the gambler's den? Asks a short, dark man dressed as mercenary bodyguard. Just 5 shards entrance fee. He nods to a door at the top of some rickety stairs. No, I'm not much for gambling. So you wander off for an uneventful evening. Where else can we explore in this town? Or the barracks area. 3 drunken army officers accost you on the street. Joe, look at what we have here, sneers one of them drunkenly. Out of the way, you stinking dogs, says another, shoving you in the chest. You know what? They're drunk. Let's just get out of their way. You decide that discretion would be better part of valor in this case, and step aside. The officers laugh contemptuously and swagger past. Nothing else happens tonight. Okay, so we didn't find anything useful there. Now we haven't explored the residential quarter yet. You come across a blazing house in the poorer area of town. A crowd is gathered, watching the flames impassively. A young girl runs up to you in tears. My mother is inside. Please help her, she begs. The fire is raging hard, and you're not sure whether anyone can be left alive inside. Well, let's give it a try. You know, adventurers have to take a little bit of risk to make some money. You charge into the burning building in search of the child's mother. You see her lying unconscious at the bottom of the stairs. Desperately, you try to get her to a burning beam that has fallen across your way, and the smoke is making you choke. Are we lucky? Oh yeah, we're super lucky. With a heroic effort, you manage to get to the woman. Gathering her up, you run for the door and stagger out into the cool night air. Smoke and flame licking at your heels. The townsfolk give you a rousing cheer, hooray! And the girl thanks you effusively for saving her mother. Later, it transpires that the woman is actually a powerful sorceress whose experiments in fire magic went slightly wrong. Her name is Alicia the Traveler, and she gives you a pale moonstone. Ooh. What does a moonstone do? Alicia tells you that you can use the moonstone by rubbing it, and you will be instantly teleported to the vicinity of the sunstone, which she carries on a necklace. I will be here in Marlock City whenever you are desperate, at the end of your tether, or just want to get here fast. Use the moonstone and you will appear beside me. I will do everything in my power to aid you, and then my debt to you will be repaid. Ooh, good. So that's kind of like a get out of jail free card, if we need it. Okay, well, we've explored pretty much everything in this city. Now, we know this is... Let's head back to Yellowport to see if there's anything on the way to Yellowport. You are on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Marlock City. It is well kept by the Sakaran army. You spot a man up ahead, striding towards you. Suddenly, 5 or 6 bandits appear from the wayside to assault him. The lone figure executes a series of movements almost faster than the eye can see, and you see a sword flashing in the sun. Moments later, the bandits are all lying dead or dying around him. You stop to compliment him on his swordsmanship. The man, a grizzled veteran of many campaigns, regards you with steely gray eyes and says, I have learned much of the arts of war in my time, it is true. Impressed by his skill and demeanor, you venture to ask him to teach you some of these arts. He looks you up and down with a critical eye. Ooh, okay, we're gonna test our combat. Little over 50% chance of success. Oh, alright, we failed. You are not worthy, he says gruffly and walks on without a backward glance. You sense it wouldn't be too wise to press him further. Okay, so we continue walking. You come to the top of a windswept cliff. An ancient pillar of jumbled rock, pitted and weather-beaten, stands at the cliff's edge like a broken finger pointing at the sky. Seagulls sing their song of desolation in the air. Judging by the runes etched into the rock, the Tor dates back to the time of the Shadar, a race that ruled the Harkonnen so long ago. They are lost in myth and legend. Let's examine these rooms. Okay. Well, our magic is not great, but maybe we'll get lucky. That's good enough. A 9 is just what we needed. So, we made a successful magic check, and we learned that the runes are written in Old Shadar, an ancient language from thousands of years ago. You realize that the runes form a spell that will give you the power to breathe underwater for only a few hours. Ooh. Well, we don't need to go out to sea just right now. Let's go down to the beach. You climb down a narrow track to the beach. The sea pounds the rocky shore, and the spray lashes your face. A mournful, yet utterly captivating singing suddenly fills your ears. You look out to sea and spot several mermaids and mermen cavorting in the surf. Come to us, one of them calls in a lilting voice that fills you with yearning, desire to plunge into the sea and swim out to them. All right, are we pure enough? Is our sanctity good enough? It is good enough. We made a successful check. How can I come out to you? I would drown in the sea. Is that what you planned? You ask angrily. Don't you know, sighs one of them, the kiss of the merfolk gives the power to breathe the waters to one of your kind for a short time. The others laugh mischievously. Now, this is the second time that we've been asked to go into the water. Let's check it out. You asked for a kiss. Oh no, cried the merfolk. A kiss is not so easily won. Tell us a tale to stir our hearts. Then we may reward you. Now this is our specialty. We're a troubadour. We're good at telling stories. So, you tell them a story of tragic love between a merman and a human princess. The merfolk are moved to shed briny tears. Briny means salty. And one of them plants a languorous kiss on your lips. Wow, that's a word I haven't heard in a long, long time. It means gives you a big kiss, big wet kiss. You find that you can indeed breathe underwater now. The merfolk lead you into the depths where they swim playfully around you. Suddenly, two hideous forms loom out of the murk. They're like giant squids, but carry spears in one of their many tentacles and wear rudimentary armor. Great black eyes shine with an impalpable alien intelligence. The merfolk dart away in fright, leaving you alone with the creatures. Uh-oh. The vile-looking creatures shoot towards you with a terrifying predatory speed. You have no choice but to fight them. Oh no. Well, there's only two of them. They're pretty tough though. Okay, and it's not starting out Okay. Okay, let's move the farthest away, and that's all we can do at the moment. Okay, so... Oh, but we were all out of arrows before. I forgot about that. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Okay, let's get our clone out just to kind of slow things down for a minute. Okay, the clone gets to an attack. Okay, wow. Clone didn't do any damage at all. So that's the end of that clone's turn. Okay, he comes up. Now we've got to switch back. And it doesn't matter where we go, but we can attack this round. And, oh, wow, these guys are pretty tough. Still haven't been able to hurt them. Okay, are we gonna die again? Oh, this looks pretty scary. Oh, wait, but we might have that okay. We have the moonstone. Let's teleport out of here. Oh. The odds are not very good. You quickly rub the pale moonstone as the sorceress told you to do. At first, nothing happens. And then, suddenly, there's a flash. And suddenly you find yourself in a warm, comfortable room. Besides Alicia the Traveler, the sorceress who rescued from her burning house. Alicia will heal you of all lost stamina points if you are wounded, and cure you of any diseases or poisons you may be suffering from. Alright, let's remove the stamina. I don't think we have any diseases or poisons, but just to be safe, so everything's back to normal. Alright, and... oh, you are cured instantly and you restore your abilities to normal. Alicia will heal you of all lost stamina points if you're wounded and cure you of Jesus. Then she says, "My debt to you is now paid," she says. With that, she passes her hands through the air and disappears in a cloud of smoke. You find yourself in an inn at Marlock City. You venture out into town, slightly dazed. Okay, so that's our hour of story time tonight. Looks like we got a few more people at the end, but a very quiet night. We didn't get very many comments. 但係唔緊要，因為我今次先至執好啲好多嘢啦，同埋比今晚應該比上次大家都聽得舒服啲。所以希望大家鍾意今晚嘅 story 啦。咁我哋下個禮拜。
時間過得太快，又係時候講拜拜。